God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up. God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up, level up, level up. Go. Everything, that means everything. Eyes connected to everything. And that's why I'm in everything. All eyes on me, all eyes on everything. That means everything. Eyes connected to everything.
Welcome. Let's give it a moment for everybody to come into the room, come into the space. Greetings, blessings to you all. All right, let's see. Already getting some love up in here. Make sure you guys go follow God Levels YouTube page. Join our group. And the like and share
radio link in the chat, and then I'll put our YouTube link in the chat. We need you to like, share, subscribe, follow all of those.
All right. Let's go ahead and chop into it. This is John Scott. Well, first off, welcome to Things That People Don't Want to Talk About. God Level, our host, is out recovering and doing some God Level things. So this is John Skywalker, the Slide Talker, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I'm a father who has 5 hip hop albums streaming on all major music streaming platforms right now. Y'all talking about how all this hip hop out here is garbage. So go ahead and plug into some John Skywalker. It'll change your life, change your perspective. Right? King Newborn, introduce, represent yourself, sir.
Peace, this is King Newborn. Good evening to everyone. Happy Tuesday. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Newborn Everything. And as always, I am that I am. Peace, love, and light.
Yes, indeed. AP, introduce yourself, represent yourself.
All right, so it's AP. First off, I want to say that Ivy is out today too. And she want everybody to say hello to everybody. Follow us on YouTube. I want to just do some house cleaning. Follow us on YouTube at God Level 102. I did put it in the chat. And then we're also on iHeartRadio. I think we forget about that a lot, but we are on iHeartRadio as well. I also put that link in the chat. So make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow. As he said, I am IAP. I'm a pharmacy technician of 20 years. I've been in the medical field for I'm going on 35 years. I am the founder and the director of Sisters Empowerment House. I do have a little announcement. We have collaborated with Imperial Gardens. And so what we're doing is we're feeding the hood. We're going to be do a program called Earth to Eat. And what that program is we're not only teaching the kids how to grow fruits and vegetables and things like that, which we have kind of started. You can see on my Facebook page some of the stuff that we've already started for the kids. We're teaching them how to grow it. But what I noticed is we can give you all the fresh fruits and vegetables that you want or even need. But if you don't know how to cook it, it just goes to waste. So I also have somebody coming in, and she's graduated. She's a chef, graduated from culinary arts school, and she will help us teach the kids how to prepare these fresh fruits and vegetables that they get to grow. So I'll make the announcement here pretty soon when we have our plant day, which will be in the next couple of weeks. And we want you to bring the kiddos out so they can start planting stuff and cultivating and watching things grow. And then we'll teach them how to cook it.
All right. So yeah, like she said, we got God Level out today. We have Ivy out today, but it's okay. We still got the tribe in attendance. Today we are going to be talking about this question right here. Is artificial intelligence our ally, or our adversary? We also have a guest speaker on the show today, Rakia. She was here last week. She was speaking on how how does wealth heal us? How does wealth heal us, or how does wealth heal? Right. And so she's going to be returning today, talking on this topic right here. From my understanding, she chose this topic because she feels that, or actually, she made an observation that a lot of Black people are apprehensive about AI and not recognizing that this would actually give us a lot of economic and even legal leverage in this country, which we deem as oppressed. So why wouldn't African Americans look at this as an opportunity to level up versus, oh, they're trying to, you know, oppress us even more with AI, right? So this is about us analyzing, evaluating, assessing our attitudes towards AI and making peace with it and seeing if we can coexist with it, if we can utilize it, if we can profit off of it. So yeah, we're going to talk about that today. So let's start off with the very first question, and that would be, what is AI? What do you think of when it comes to AI, artificial intelligence? AP?
I guess when I think not so initially I thought of like the iRobots and the robots and the cars driving themselves and things like that, but I did not realize until I started diving into some of these chat GPTs and different things like that, that it also helps you put your thoughts together. You know, I have ideas, but a lot of times I can't put it in words. And I found that it's a lot more helpful and it's not as detailed. Now we may get to the robots, and I think we're there. It hasn't been publicly released. But right now, I think it's pretty helpful for all of us. And yeah, I think it's worth looking into.
It sounds like your attitude towards it changed over time, though.
It did. It definitely did, as I started realizing that there are some helpful things that you can. And I think the more they start loading into these systems and the more information that they start providing, it's going to be a big service to us.
Yeah, especially when they start combining the power of quantum computing with it, right? It's going to be able to solve problems that we didn't even know existed.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think that's one thing to really consider in terms of the implications of AI. It helps us in terms of computing, right? The expedited range of computing here is at stake. To be able to solve problems like that, make these quick analysis, and then boom, there's a solution. You didn't have to spend 2 years, trying to put it all together, organize a perspective, and start with studies. Like, it could do all that for you. Hey, this is the solution. These are the methodology. This is the resources that you would need. I think it'll give all the instructions. Now, it is a tool, right? And we are the users of this tool. So, of course, ultimately, the decision is always going to rest with the user, right?
Right.
What else do you think of when it comes to artificial intelligence? King Newborn, you want to chime in, or you want to?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening right now.
Okay, just listening. All right.
So, you think, can we go to like Google is artificial intelligence if you think about it?
Yes.
So yes. I'm like, they're putting this new verbiage out here. Well, I guess it might not be that new because we've heard of it, but they're pushing it now. And I think some people think of it as this extraterrestrial type thing.
Okay. It's an interesting comment from Joshua. He says, computer integrated instructions that are littered with scams, like AI bot trading, which has stolen millions of dollars from everyone, including myself. Ooh, this sounds personal.
Oh, wow.
There is more harm that can be created than benefits. All right. I mean, hey, Joshua, sounds like you got something on your chest. If you want to call in, the number is right here at the bottom. Call in, share your thoughts on artificial intelligence.
I don't think I trust it. I don't trust it to handle my money just yet. I don't trust people to handle my money. So
Okay.
I don't know if I trust it just yet for the trading and different things like that. How does that
Mm.
trade AI bot trade work? Because I have to look into that
Well,
because
I
I
mean,
mean
if
I'm
you so
heavy on the
so you know how
trading.
you were saying, you know how you were just talking about the robots, right? So
Uh-huh.
um when we're talking about AI in terms of like its applications and its functions, we're talking about the apps, right? Right now, we're just talking
Uh-huh.
about the apps. But AI bots kind of insinuate that these are robots, but they just don't have a physical form, right? And so you create these mini profiles for these bots and you
Uh-huh.
program them, and then whoop, you send them out, right? And they have their directives and they operate in these spaces, and they're kind of like your
So
minions.
okay, these bots are not made for good. Is that correct? Because I know I see
Oh
on
no, no,
Facebook
no,
these
no.
little bots
So
that
so that's the question right there. When you say good, good to who?
to the people that they're going after. Because when you say bots, the bots that I think of are the ones that send these phishing emails, the ones that are on your Facebook comments that you have no clue, and they say, "Hey, I've been thinking about you, or I've been watching you, and I got something I gotta tell you because the spirits, the spirits told
Wow.
me to tell." Have you seen these? Have you seen these
Now,
people comment on your stuff like that?
I've seen spam bots. I think we all kind of seen them. Certain ones, I mean, they're all kind of annoying for the most part, but it depends. Like, all right, there's certain influencers who have them, right? And you can tell, you can tell when they have them because you go to their page and some of their replies are very automated. They're not
Right, right,
Yeah, they're not very personalized, right? Like it doesn't sound like for certain ones, I'm like, yeah, that's not how you talk. That's not how
right.
you talk. So you would have the
Yeah.
bot there to reply because I mean, if you think about it, managing a page where 280,000 people at any time could have that much access to you, you gotta, if you want to keep the engagement up, you gotta interact with
Right,
them.
you got it right. Somebody
So
has
you would hire
to
the
do the
bots.
engagement.
Oh, bots I interacted with claim to be. Oh, wow, that's wild. Wow. So
And see,
they were
I've seen that
persuasive.
too. Right, so that might uh they might be adding a little
Mm,
extra intelligence in that because usually they're pretty
wow.
basic.
Mm-hmm. Elaborate. Right. So, but I think that is some of our apprehensions. But let me go ahead and take some steps back before we get too deep into it. So, again, just so that the audience understands what we're talking about, right? First off, there is no singular definition for artificial intelligence. Like there is, but there isn't because it's so complex. But generally speaking, as I understand it, artificial intelligence is broken down into four areas. That's the thinking humanly, thinking rationally, acting humanly, and acting rationally. So acting, thinking humanly and rationally. So that's how we kind of summarize the artificial intelligence in terms of their domains, their areas of functioning. It does include intelligent machines. Um,
Hmm.
there are subfields involved in this. So I think it's important for us to even understand like what's comprised of it, right? So there's machine learning, natural language processing, which that's the majority of the AI that we're interacting with, with the co-pilots and the chat GPTs. Those are NLPs, right? Natural language processing. So they're really good at just organizing the information. You put in a few keywords and then it'll just generate information that's related to that, right? Um, and then there's like things like computer vision and robotics that also tie into AI. But that's usually what people think about is the
The
robotics
robot.
stuff. They think we
Exactly.
think about that stuff first because it's very tangible, right? But AI is a lot more subtle than that, and we'll dive into that, right? But I really want us to take into consideration the AI that we're dealing with right now. It's about the inputs and the outputs, right? So it won't be long until human emotions are encompassed in this framework due to emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is probably about maybe 3 decades old. for us in terms of the
Uh-huh.
westernized society. So there's still a compilation going on in terms of the language and the terms and everything when it comes to emotional intelligence.
Do you
But
think they can write emotions into that? Because
well, if you can teach it, they can learn it. That's the whole point. That's the whole
right,
point. Machine learning is if it could be taught, it could be learned. So just like with human beings, I mean, if humans can learn emotional intelligence, they can acquire it. Now, it's one thing to experience it. That's separate. But just knowing, having the information,
right.
that's what we're dealing with here, right? So I think that at some point, this will definitely be a great companion. But again, what happens when you give a machine the ability to understand and read and recognize human emotions and respond to it? Because I mean, humans manipulate other humans emotionally
All the
with our
time. Right,
awareness, right? We know, like, and the manipulation doesn't have to always be negative. It doesn't
right,
always have to be negative. It could be, all right, I know how to make you laugh. There's a certain kind of manipulation there. I'm not
right,
forcing you to do anything, but I'm putting out a certain energy, speaking to you a certain way, a certain attitude that rouses an emotion out of you, right? And you wouldn't expect for that emotion to come out when you're interacting with the machine. So, there's
Do
things
you
like
think that they'll
computation.
get to the point that because you're saying they can learn to do that, but to
Mhm.
effectively feel the same as a human, as like you said,
Oh,
to
I don't
get to
know.
experience it? Do you
I
think?
don't know.
Because this is what I see as if robot feelings, and maybe my mind is not as far up with where it should be, but mentally, I'm thinking if you have a machine and you can teach it a lot of things, but can it genuinely make you experience the feeling with them? If I have empathy for you, or if I show happiness towards you, you feel that as well as me giving it to you, you receive it. Would they
Mhm.
be able to receive the information, and would I be able to receive it from them? Because something about your spirit showing happiness to another person's spirit, it lights them up too.
Well, so man, that opens up a whole pathway to something else because neuroscience will say something different, right? So we can speak of it in spiritual terms, but then there's the neuroscience is basically going to take the monopoly here and say, well, hey, when you are experiencing empathy, you have mirror neurons that allow
Uh-huh.
you to have that experience, and so the brain is lighting up and producing these sensations, right? So from I guess a mechanical perspective or a mechanical standpoint, the information is a copy of something else. So would it truly be an experience if it's imitated, if it's simulated?
Right.
And how would we really know? Like, because I don't know what anger feels like to my son. Like, I don't feel that. I know what anger feels like, but I haven't felt his flavor of anger, right?
Flavor of
So
anger. Right.
I think that conundrum right there is gonna that's way too big. Uh, but I think we're also way too it's way too early for us to even
Yeah, we're
get
pretty
to that
young
point.
into this. To
Yeah,
this, yeah, we're real. We're still babies, and I
yeah,
think we've
yeah.
had a lot. This is the thing, we've had smartphones is AI.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just like all of this stuff that we do is AI, but now that they're pushing this name AI and they're putting it in a different perspective, it sounds real scary. But we've been doing AI for over
Mm.
30 years. Like
Oh,
when that first computer that hit was artificial intelligence.
shoot. Any game, if any of y'all
Yeah,
played a video game, one fighting game, who are you playing
right,
against? The computer. What is the computer? It's AI.
right. So I think people don't grasp that, because now that we're talking about the new age AI, and we might be teenagers in this, because like I said, we've been doing at this AI stuff for maybe 40, 50 years. But I think as we're starting to move forward where we can just say things, because even Google Voice or Alexa or Siri, all of those are are artificial intelligence. But now that we have these new websites like the chat bot or chat GPT and the Copilot and stuff like that, where you can just give them the information and it spits it back out into whatever format that you wanted to. I think we're like, this is something new, but it really kind of is. It's really not new. It's a new form of AI, but artificial intelligence been here for a long time, and it's just gonna keep growing and keep growing. Because eventually you probably gonna have a robot or somebody to sit next to you where you can just ask those questions to.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, yeah, when you think about where we're going as a civilization, like all you got to do is just combine the parts, and that's the creativity aspect. We're creating these separate portions, and then at one point we can just assimilate, just bring it all together. So, virtual reality, for example, we're coming out with VR glasses, right? So why not with your glasses see your AI assistant? They already have a voice, so maybe you can customize their body
right,
type, and you can do it in a virtual, like they don't even have to be there physically, and then you graduate from the glasses to lights in your house that create an
right,
avatar,
like a what
hologram.
is it? Hologram.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna
like a
say, what is
hologram.
it?
Yeah.
So this is the thing when you were saying like the hologram and stuff like that, and I was just sitting there thinking like, us as humans, we gonna find a slave. Because if you if you think about it, right, like it's illegal for us to make each other slaves as people, but we
We
gonna
go
find
by.
a slave. You know what I'm saying? We gonna find somebody to do the work for us if we gotta build it or whatever. Because basically, I'm sitting there thinking like, when we do get to robots, that's your slave. That's basically your slave, because everything that we put into it, all the information that we put into it, we basically think for it. Everything that you do is for is to benefit us. So we go, yeah, we'll find a slave. If we got to build one or steal one, we gonna, and I think that's what it's gonna come out to end up being. We're not gonna have people like, you won't have domestic workers anymore. We'll have these robots, and they probably won't start off in people form. But I mean, we got them now. We got robots now.
Yeah, robot vacuums. They're already here in the restaurants, the self-serving.
Yeah, I think
They
Texas
popping
got the
up.
first automated McDonald's, maybe, where there's no everything is done through the robot and the machine. Now I'm sure they need a person to feed whatever. Always need a person to set up the buns or put the cups in the thing, but everything else is just kind of automated through the AI. So
And for
we'll
some
start getting to
people,
that.
that idea is it's pretty frightening, right? It's pretty
Yeah.
threatening. And I think it's legitimate if we're thinking about life as it currently is, right? In terms of the current paradigm we're operating in. But if we're optimistic, the paradigm will have to change, right? Because the users, for example, they're not going to be like, no, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. They're not going to be like these old white men that are up in the White House. They're at the,
Oh no.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's for the next ones, right? So
Right.
certain individuals are going to be more privy to it, right? But I think even more so is how many different things that we can create from this, right? So I think in one aspect, it's still going to create some marginalization because of who has access to what kind of AI. I think that's one other aspect of it, but I don't want to get too far ahead because we still haven't talked too much about the types of AI, but I think it's pretty noteworthy to consider that the way that we're thinking about the implications with AI right now is based off of where we are now. Some of us have more optimism because we've actually read the science magazines. We've read the science publications. We've gone to the scientific conventions, and it's bigger than just science fiction. But for others, we haven't been educated enough, and so all we have is science fiction and hearsay,
Right.
right? And so that could also pervert our morality when it comes to AI. right? Just thinking about what's possible in the future, right? But just to kind of finish up this question right here, right? This is important because, again, I understand that a lot of us have apprehensions when it comes to AI. We usually are like this way when it comes to anything.
Yeah,
If we're real,
anything that's changed, anything
anything
new.
that's new.
Yeah, we not, and
It-
you know the first thing we gonna do, you got to try it first. Now, when we find out there was some success or whoever tried it, we'll follow suit. But we always gotta have
Mhm.
somebody else try or hear. You know, we got to get the reviews first.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't
So,
think people even understand their surgeries. Like those surgeries
ooh,
that you get done, the doctors don't physically. You know, I
ooh.
just got out of the hospital and came from home, but if in those operating rooms, they most of the doctors don't have to really get in there and touch you for a lot of stuff anymore. They
Mhm.
just go in and basically it's like the virtual reality world, like they put on the glasses and they can
Yep,
go in
yep.
and they can make this robot do all the program the robot to do everything that it wants it to do. So I don't know if people realize that a lot of this stuff is already in effect. It's just now being pushed more because it was
Mhm.
behind the scenes, and I guess now maybe it's coming over to the public more.
Mm. So some other areas or some other examples that we come across in terms of AI is your social media feeds, right?
Yeah.
Algorithms. We always talk about the algorithms. That's still artificial intelligence. Those prompts, those codes, that's
Mm-hmm.
artificial intelligence, right? We mentioned earlier our virtual assistants, the Series. If you got a iPhone, you got Siri in there. You probably use Siri at least one time, right? If you got a Google Assistant, all right, that's AI. Online shopping. I don't think people really understand how much AI taps into that,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to your recommendations, right? Um, do you have a spam folder in your email? Like you gotta have an email, right? Okay, that spam folder right there. Um, there's spam filters in there. That's AI. Those spam filters are AI. If you have any security cameras in your home that has
Yep.
that motion detection software in there,
Yep.
that's AI. The camera's moving left to right. Zzz, 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 zzz. Yeah, that's AI. That's AI. Predictive text in your phone. You getting ready to type
Yep.
that next word, and the phone knows, like, oh, you're about to say shit. Okay, that's AI.
Mine, mine knows me all too well. I'm like, and those don't even try. They don't even try to correct my grammar anymore. It already knows how I talk. But yeah, you're right. There's so many things that have already been, and I just think those that are scared of it don't even realize that you're already using it.
Hmm. Very subtle, very subtle. So this one right here. Now there's different types of AI, different forms, right? Um, and the types can be broken down based on like capabilities, functionality, its purpose. um it could be broke down in terms of like how it's implemented, and it could be broken down in terms of like application, right? So let's just go with functionality. When it comes to functionality, there's basically two types. There's weak AI or narrow AI, and then there's general or strong AI, right? So the weak is like they have specific tasks, right? So these are your virtual personal assistants. That's the Siri, the Alexa. That's the recommendations systems. That's the spam filters. That's weak AI. They just have very small tasks that they perform. And then you got the strong or the general AI. And this artificial intelligence has the capacity to understand, to learn, to apply intelligence across a whole range of tasks, right? This is the theoretical one, though. We haven't achieved that yet. This is the one that people are afraid of. The strong AI is what people is afraid of. And then you got, capabilities, there's the machinery, they operate off of predefined rules. They operate off of limited memory, theory of mind. Then there's the self-aware AI, right? And that's theoretical. We're not there yet. Well, John, how do you know they have it? All right, hey, I mean, if you got some evidence, I mean, I'd like to see it. You know, I don't like to deal with the what if just as much as you do. So if you got it, boom, put it in front of my face. Cool, we can rock with that, right? And then yeah, you got like the deep learning, the natural language processing, the virtual agents, the autonomous systems that are out there. Those are your self-driving cars, the drones, all that's AI, right?
Yeah.
So there's different forms, right? Even in gaming, again, when it comes to like developing skill, you need to be challenged, right? And so AI can challenge you with a specific difficulty level to bring you up so that you're operating at that difficulty level. So that's why, you know, AI in gaming is so important, right? Because I don't know if I want to fight easy, hard, medium, extra hard, right? Difficulty level. Oh, so before I go any further, Sis Rukia is on. Sis, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey.
Hey everyone, greetings. This is Rakia Post on Facebook, Rakia on Finance on Instagram and TikTok. I am a financial coach educator, financial literacy teacher, and credit repair specialist. I am also an author, a mother of many, and that's about it. That's me.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, so we're just covering, you know, the basics. We just define what artificial intelligence is, and we're just talking about the various forms. But if you could, real quick, let the audience know what inspired you to want to choose this topic.
Okay, so it's kind of piggybacking off of last week's topic. What was it? How can wealth increase your
Heal.
health?
Yeah.
Heal.
Yeah.
How can wealth heal? So we're talking about finances, and we know that the majority of us are struggling with our finances. We keep saying we want to make more money, we need more time to make more money. This is an absolute way to, in a sense, leverage the playing field. This will give us an advantage in creating more income streams for our household.
Okay.
And how do you and what brought you to that point of saying that it would be lucrative for us to use it?
Because most of the world is using it right now. Corporations are using it, other countries are using it, and they're leveraging it and gaining more income, whether that be from direct sales, whether it be from our time, energy, and effort that we're putting into it. One of the things that I've seen too, where we think that we don't have the knowledge to do something, AI will help us with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, in this context, that is having more streams of income or just increasing your income. There are various ways to do it. So it could be a side hustle, it could be your main job, it a hobby if you want it to be that. But this is definitely a way to increase finances in your household. And it's fairly simple. It's fairly simple.
Hey, King, how often do you use AI? Uh-oh. It looks like he's froze. Okay. Well, Rakia, how often do you use AI?
Every day.
Every day. AP?
Yay.
Here lately, I've been on there almost every day.
Yeah, I could say the
Constantly.
same.
I just got so much stuff. I got so much stuff to do and so much stuff to write and put together and so on and so forth that I have to use this mind don't
Oh man. So
I mean, I
do you
know
feel
what
like it's on
I'm
time?
thinking, huh?
Do you feel like this came on time?
Oh yeah, like definitely. I was and my niece is the one that told me about it. I wanted to write a grant or something,
Mhm.
something, and she was like, Auntie, just go on Chat GPT or whatever. And I'm like, well, what the hell is that? You know, I don't know. And she was like, this is how I do my school papers. I'm like, you been cheating? And you mean I go back to school and do all this cheating and graduate and don't have to do nothing? But she started telling me about it. And then as she started doing, like giving the commands and telling it what she wanted and define it or simplify it or whatever, I'm like, I need this. You know what I'm saying? This is really gonna help me, and it has. It definitely has helped me.
Mm.
So I recommend for if you got anything that you need to write, if you got anything that any presentation that you need to do, anything that you need a even something as simple as a definition, and then you can make it go to be a complex answer, or you can just have a simple definition. But it definitely will. It definitely has changed the game for me.
Mm. All right. So we posted this question in the group. We had 18 respondents. Thank you all. Make sure you join our Facebook group, things that people don't want to talk about. We had 6 respondents say daily, they use it every day. We had 3 say they use it seldomly. 3 say that they rarely use it, and we had 6 say that they don't use it at all. I think this is I think it's normal. I think it's normal. I don't think it's much of a big deal, but it does really beg the question, when a new tool comes out, historically speaking, minorities, marginalized groups are usually, behind before we get access to it. And so you have the, elites and the majority, they get access to it, they level up even further, and then we come around to it, and then now we're trying to. So the question really becomes, can we afford not to get involved? Can we afford that? The climate is changing economically, politically, socially. Can we really afford that?
No, we can't afford to be behind on anything. We done started off behind, so we need to be trying to get right in there and be a part of this because it's coming. It's you see how much bigger it's gotten. We just named off the subtle things about the smartphone and so on and so forth. So it's coming. Like, and it's
here.
going. Go ahead. Yeah.
I would say that it's here. Yeah.
And it's just going to become more. I think
elaborate.
it's gonna be more elaborate, grow bigger and bigger. And if you don't get in now, whenever it's all said and done, you're gonna be lacking, and you're gonna be trying to figure out. You're gonna be like our parents were when they got the VCR. Remember, they couldn't program it; they didn't know how to figure it out. Don't get in on this and see if you're not sitting there asking the grandkids how to do this and how to do that. Something very simple like we gotta do better. I was going to share my screen. Hold on.
But let me speak to that as well. It's usually because there is fear. It's a fear of the unknown. And because I think our first introduction to it may have been sci-fi movies. And how that put us like, oh my gosh, if we put some information in this technology, it's going to overrule us and we're going to be the slaves to it and so on.
Right. Definitely.
But this is definitely the ground, the beginning of it. We already use it in our day-to-day lives if we realize it or not. We use it with the chips on our debit card. The algorithm on social media. If you're on social media, period. You're in. Now, are we using it to our advantage, or are we letting them use it to their advantage?
Yeah, I think the majority of us are letting them use it to. The majority. I ain't gonna say us, but the majority of people are allowing them to use it. I just pulled up the Chat GPT just for people that haven't seen it because I know some people don't do any AI and don't know anything. But I was gonna ask you. Let's ask it a question. What y'all want to ask it?
Let's see. Let me see. Can we bring this up even?
Can
No. Can we
see if
bring
you
it
can
up
make it
even?
bigger?
Let's see.
Or you want to put it on your screen, John?
Hold on. All right. Is that?
That's the full screen.
That's the full screen. Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's showing? Yeah, it looks like it's showing your screen.
Yeah. Do you want to put it on yours and I back out of this and you put it on yours, or you want to leave it on?
Oh
this
no,
one?
you got it. Let me
Okay.
go ahead
And
and take this banner.
while you guys are talking about it and getting this together, there's so many components to it that you can combine. So if you're putting in a prompt in Chat GPT, this I'm gonna tell you how to make a real quick and simple product. Put a prompt in Chat GPT. If you have the paid subscription membership, you can go to DAL-E, which is a text to image. You can say create an image
Oh, then
of
I
a
need to upgrade.
create an image of a beautiful iridescent butterfly that with a black background, right?
Uh-huh.
Look through it because it's going to generate some images for you. You can keep going if you don't like it. Whichever one you like best, download it. If you don't have what is it called? Printify. We're making a product real quick. Printify is a POD, print on demand, right? So you put that image into Printify and you look at the products that they have. You can put that image on any product that they have. It could be a candle, it can be a t-shirt, a hoodie,
Oh,
a pillow.
and you just made your own custom.
Made your own, and then you can drop that
overhead.
Thank you. You can make you can put that on an Etsy page. You can put that on your website. There's a product less than 10 minutes. And then you can go back into ChatGPT and tell it to create description of this product for you for Etsy, and it will do all the work.
Oh wow!
Yep.
So you have to I have to upgrade. Have to upgrade and do the other version. I didn't even realize the 4 GPT 4 Smart. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. So what I started this early on, and there's another add-on to ChatGPT ARTM. I don't think you have to have that, but if you get the paid subscription and get DAL-E and then work with that, it should suffice.
Okay. So maybe I need you to share your screen so you can show them how that works.
John, do you have it? I'm on my phone. I don't have the.
I mean, sure, we good right here. We got her on the screen.
Okay, yeah. What you want me to ask it? What you want me to say to it so our audience can see how it works?
Let's see if it'll give us an image first.
Okay.
Create a beautiful iridescent butterfly.
Oh shoot, girl, I'm typing on my. Wait a minute, I got two keyboards. And I wasn't looking.
I don't think it's gonna let her create the image without the upgraded subscription, right?
Let's see. If not,
we're gonna see.
What you think?
It might might let me get through. Might let me get a.
I don't think it will. I don't think it will. I don't think it's gonna let up.
I'm about to type rainbow butterfly.
But you can do that too.
I mean, can I get a sample?
I don't think it's gonna do it.
Absolutely. What's it say about Iceland?
Is it telling you about the butterfly? Okay.
I love taking photos of nature. I didn't say that. Did I say anything? Oh, it hurt. It
Is it
hears me
listening?
talking and it was trying to translate, I think, what I
Oh,
was
wow.
saying.
Okay.
It heard me talk. Hold on. I think it heard all of us
Create an
talking.
image. I don't think it's gonna do it.
It may
I don't think
not. If not, then we'll go on a different route
Mm.
because we can even
She
create
should have went to
children books.
Copilot. Copilot will do it.
I don't have Copilot, but you can do
Yeah.
Copilot.
Yeah,
I
Copilot
got
will do it, and
Copilot
it's
on my
free.
phone.
Yeah,
I
Copilot
mean, I
is
got
free.
Copilot on here too.
Yeah. For it to be
Um,
free. Now that
Oh no, it's just giving me the description of
Yeah.
the iridescent
Okay.
butterfly.
So if you're using ChatGPT, you can also, if you don't have the paid version, you can have it create children books for you. You can tell it to create a story for a second grader that talks about morality.
And you can have ChatGPT create the images for you to say, hey, and create images that complement the book,
To go
so
with
that
it.
you can give and you
Oh.
can give that to the illustrator. You can give
Right.
that to the
So I
illustrator.
need to upgrade because I do these for the curriculum for the groups that I do with these kids with the social skills and stuff like that. So I definitely need to upgrade. It's been helpful creating that. I mean, I've take a lot of it and put in my own format as well, and then some of it I just take straight from the Chat GPT. What was the other one? Copilot.
Yeah,
I wonder, can you
Copilot was the
guys
other
see
one.
that?
Yes.
Let's see, because I got Copilot 2 on here. Once John told me what the newest one or the latest one was, because I didn't know any others. And this is a Microsoft one. Google is Gemini.
Yeah, I haven't explored that one yet. I've heard of
I
it.
haven't either.
Yeah. There's so many of them out there, right? And I think we all can acknowledge that we started experiencing the high traffic of AI apps somewhere around this time, maybe even earlier last year when they came out with I think it was the Lenza app, and we did that. Everybody was and the conspiracy
I
theorists came
remember
out
that,
too.
but I did not partake. I remember that, but I didn't do it.
Yeah, it was cool, right? It was cool because it was, the novelty of it, right? And then you have the conspiracy theorists say, "Oh, you guys gave your images," but it's like,
Yes.
it's like, okay, do you understand that the way that you, and again, the way that you look now is not how you looked 10 years ago. The way you look
Right.
today is not how you're gonna look 10 years from now. So in a way, it doesn't matter. Like your identity, like it just really goes to show how attached we are to our identity. I'm always changing. I always have content coming out of me. So John is always, my hair is not gonna be the same tomorrow. So I say that to say this as it relates to the AI and our apprehensions and our fears. It really
Look.
helps to understand what it is that we're dealing with. Oh, see, oh yeah, there you go. There you go.
And then you see at the
Copilot.
bottom, I don't know if you can see it. It says at the bottom, it says add some flowers around the butterfly.
Okay.
Make it like a
Yeah, it
stained
makes
glass window.
suggestions.
Change the colors and
Look at
more
that.
vibrant.
And you don't have to
Okay,
use
and
it because right now it's using designer to make that image.
Mhm.
It
And what
uses
is this one
designer.
called?
This is called
This one's
Copilot.
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 Microsoft Copilot. Yep. And
So
they
I
also
add-
have a
I-
premium service. They have a premium service as well.
Okay. Yeah, I added to make the colors more vibrant. So it's about to pop up.
So for our audience members out there, when you go to Chat GPT or you go to Microsoft Copilot, right? The key thing here is prompt.
Yes.
How you
Mhm.
prompt will determine the quality of your results, right? So there's inputs and outputs. Your prompts are the input. It will give you an output. The thing is, it also relies on your feedback in terms of the accuracy. So, ever so often, there's after you complete a search or after it completes its search and its response to you, it often has like right below it like a few buttons at the bottom. It's a thumbs up, a thumbs down, a copy symbol, right? You want to
Yeah.
hit thumbs up or thumbs down if the results are, not favorable or favorable. You want to give the developers feedback. It cannot improve if you don't let them know, hey, this is
Right.
where it got it wrong. We got,
Oh
but
my
some people,
gosh. Go ahead. I was saying, do you remember? It's not the very very beginning, but maybe a year ago when you started putting in images of African Americans or whatever, the images would just be horrific, and then the AI
oh,
images would have like five
mm-hmm,
eyes and and so
mm-hmm,
gradually as we are programming it and
mm-hmm.
correcting it, look where it is now. But if you were right there at the groundbreaking, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah. And so again, this ties into the machine learning concept,
Yeah,
right? It's like, yo, these machines are learning us, right? And that's how we're programming them. We're programming it to learn us. Now,
yeah,
granted,
Right.
there's some memory involved in it, and there's going to be a copy of this information out there. There's going to be a copy of your information, whatever you put out there. There's going to be copies of it. But the thing is, we got to remember we're spiritual beings. We're infinite. So this information, we don't own it. It's here
Right.
for creativity's sake, right?
yeah.
Now, I'm not saying, hey, let's have a lackadaisical approach here. I'm just saying, let's look at it for what it is. It's a tool, and you decide, just like the weapons that are out there, there's knives and guns. You have to be responsible in using those.
Right.
They're still destructive devices, right? But you
Right.
still use them nonetheless. So just like your money, just like your house, your car, you got to use it with a sense of responsibility. It's here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine the folks that were like, yo, I'm never getting in a car. I'm never getting in one of those things. Oh my,
Right.
I'll just walk
Yeah.
everywhere. And then everybody's looking at them like, man, what's wrong with you? You don't want to. All right. Hey. And we're making fun of them. So I think that's also going to be a thing for us as it pertains to the technologies, that there may be some deviations. There might be some more separation. I thought
What's
about this
the
also.
chat? I'm sorry. What's the chat? OpenAI.com. What's
Yeah,
that at
that's
the bottom?
Chat GPT. That's Chat GPT.
Oh, okay. That came
That's
up.
the website. Yeah, that's the website.
That's crazy. Okay.
So I also wanted to mention that in terms of the usage, right? Well, we'll get to that later. All right. Let's see. Next question. Do you feel confident in your understanding of what AI is?
I do. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very basic. I think people think it's more than what it really is, but it's very basic. It's our phones. It's the ATM machine. I mean, it's anything that can do something for you or take a task away from you and do it for you. So if you think about it, the cars are kind of mine is. I can't get over with, it shows a light when I'm about to get over. It's if it feels like I'm driving too fast and about to rear end somebody, it beeps, it makes a sound and stuff. There's so many sensors on it. It's definitely AI.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence.
Right.
It is artificial intelligence because we are feeding it. It is not organic. It is what
Right.
we put into it. So with that, as you were saying before, John, we have to take care and be mindful of that because it can, one, get addictive. Two, we'll get lazy and not want to use our brain.
Ooh, there we go.
That's what I want to touch on that. I definitely
Yeah.
want to touch on that.
And three, I don't know that yet, but get back to me on the first three. Until the three just. Well, yeah, you have to be careful of how you're using it.
Yeah.
And
I want to go
it
back
is
to
a
the
tool.
two. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I want to go back to the two because that is a downside that I do worry about. Even though I love it, I worry because I feel like our kids today already don't have an imagination or creativity because of the gaming systems. Like whenever us coming up, we were outside, so we had to make up. I'm sure y'all made up little games and stuff. Y'all had a rock and a stick. You could make up some type
Yes,
of game, or you could, when
play in the
you
mud.
outside, yeah, you can make up something to keep you occupied, or make a game, or have some type of fun with just like you said, playing in the mud, a rock and a stick, a few blades of
Imagination.
grass. Right. And so
Hmm.
I'm wondering, is that going to take, because I feel like these kids already don't have an imagination like we had, because everything is thinking for them. So
Yes.
when we get to a point where we're starting to see the kids aren't creative, they can't think outside the box, they can't critically think about anything, how are we going to do this? How is that going to work? That
You
definitely
know,
worries
it's
me.
kind of funny. It's because prior to this, oh man, my phone is shutting down, so I'm gonna have to get back to you guys on my computer.
Oh man. Okay. Dang it.
Yeah, so I do wonder about, is it going to eliminate the creativity of our children and their, because then we definitely become mental slaves.
Hmm.
Because everything, think about if we get too far, and I don't know how deep this AI can go, but think about how, I don't want it to get to the point of, the Stepford Wives.
Hmm.
You remember that movie, The Stepford Wives, where the mothers were basically just controlled, and they were, I think they might have been robots, or they had been taken over, but everything was the same. Like if you have something thinking for you, if something thinks, if Chat GPT thinks for me, and it thinks for you, and it thinks for Rakia, then that means that we have no individuality to think for ourselves, because we're all thinking the same thing, because whatever this machine spits out is what we're thinking.
Hmm.
So will we have an individuality and a thought oh, we gotta let her in. Will we have a individuality or a thought process of our own, or will we all basically be thinking the same thing?
What I was
Oh.
about to say before I got so really interrupted by my phone, using our own minds. It's the smartphones now. So when you make a mistake, or we don't even have to spell anymore, right? Because if you start typing, it's just it's going to automatically correct it for you. So it's definitely up to the parents to get your children, including myself, away from the technology and into nature. On the other hand, we can also encourage them to become programmers, because we're on the face value of it. There's a whole nother world behind this, and they're going to need people to program these devices and these apps. App developers.
And cybersecurity is still growing, right? Because now we're
that's what
being
my son
threatened.
wants to get into, cybersecurity. Yes.
So again, this is what I was saying earlier. Like, can we really afford not to plug in? Because if you match like the deep fake software with AI, like you can create thieves that don't have physical bodies, but they go around robbing people. And I mean, they're basically AI chatbots.
Yes.
Right. But they just go around stealing money as right. So, but it could be something as simple as, all right, it's a scam to get your money out your investment account or whatever. Let's clear out your Acorns account. Hey, an emergency came up. Impersonations. So cybersecurity in this realm becomes a major thing. Like, what if I can purchase a AI chatbot that defends me
right
from these other AI chatbots that are trying to get me, right?
Right.
So there, we need developers that are capable of understanding that demand, because the landscape's going to change. The rules won't be the same,
It
and we
won't.
can get upset. You know, older generation, we're going to get upset because we feel like we put in the work to be lazy now. So
Right.
hey, the times need to slow down with me, right? But uh, I I don't know if we can really afford not to be plugged in, to be aware of, especially the threats and the dangers that come with it. Just at least from a day to day, guarding yourself from it. What does that look like for you? Do
Right.
you use AI to protect you from AI?
Right.
Yeah.
We do
So,
that now, though. If you
oh yeah,
think about
oh
it,
yeah, yeah,
Maccabee, and all those
yeah.
other spyware, spamwares, and stuff like that.
Right.
So we do it now on a different level. But yeah, it's definitely gonna it's gonna move to something that we will never thought I never thought that I would see in my lifetime. I never thought I'd see a car that would back into a parking space
Ooh.
in my lifetime. So
All right, so let's keep it moving. How do we determine whether artificial intelligence is our ally or adversary? Right. So, given all that we've already discussed, what influenced your beliefs about artificial intelligence, right? Like, where did you get your notions, your definitions, your understanding? You start from that place, right? And so you have this experience with AI. It may not be rich, but you have one. But how do you determine that this tool is out to get you or out to help you?
That's a good question. I I I would like to say it depends on how we're using it still. If it's out to get you, if it's an adversary or an ally, how are you using it for yourself? If you're using it to advance yourself, your family, and community, it can absolutely be an ally. But if you're just going along with the flow and letting other people control it and not having any input in it, it can absolutely be an adversary.
I think it's definitely an ally, like you said, if we're using it towards the community. But I just want to bring up the older generation, the seniors. I think it's an adversary to them,
Mm. Ooh,
and it's
okay.
lack of knowledge. So they got this new thing that's coming out, and they probably, y'all have probably seen it, but the seniors are more apt to responding to it. So they'll send you a message to say it's coming from the U.S. Postal Office and your package is on its way, but we just
Yes,
need you to
I get those.
respond. Yeah, and that all of that is the artificial intelligence that they just feed it all these phone numbers, and it sends out this mass text to all these different people. And if you get 5 or 6 people, because it asks for you to pay $1.95 to update your address.
Mm,
And a lot of older people, like, they get medications through the mail, and they order a lot of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I know I always got stuff coming through the mail and stuff like that, but older people, seniors, they don't know how to navigate through that because they've been so they've just not gotten to the point where they start to trust this smartphone. So now they don't know not to trust it. They don't know when not to trust it. You remember when people first started getting the emails and stuff like that, and you get those emails, I'm the king of King Jaffe Jara, and I just got $1 million from so and so, and I need your bank account number to stash this $1 million. And I think that for seniors, because they don't know a lot about the AI, and about how to interact with AI, I think that affects them a lot. It's definitely an adversary for them. The older you get, the less you want to even know
learn
about
about
it.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you put your card. Just long story short, you put your card in, pay the $1.95, and they wipe your account out because you don't know. You trust this. You trust this information.
Hey.
I just got to the point where I can trust it. And now you're telling me I can't.
Yeah, it's complicated. Why can't
It
it be
is.
simple?
Right,
Why can't it
right.
just be simple? Dang. How can we determine? I think the big one is intent and purpose, of course. What's the intent behind the development and the deployment of any AI system? I think if the AI enhances maybe things like productivity or improves healthcare outcomes, um, it could be an assistant in scientific research. Um, I would consider that allyship. But if it's for like just extreme surveillance, um, manipulation, some sort of harm, then it becomes adversarial. I think we can also evaluate it according to impact on society. Um, if it leads to job creation, accessibility, I think it's an ally.
Mm-hmm.
If it threatens privacy, if it perpetuates biases and stereotypes, if it poses a risk to human safety, it's adversarial. Uh, I think if it augments human capabilities, if it enhances our capabilities, ally. If it seeks to replace my ability to make decisions,
Mm,
Mm.
definitely adversary.
if it takes away my autonomy, if it oppresses me, if it leads to me losing control or even going towards like dependency, if I'm
Right.
uh compelled to be dependent on it, adversarial.
Uh-huh.
Adversarial.
Agreed.
I think the goals also kind of define this. What are the long-term goals of it? Is it about short-term gains and profit motives, and power dynamics? I feel like that would be adversarial. But if it leads to advancing knowledge and fostering uh, some inclusivity, right, to make us all feel included, ally. So, and I think it's fair to say that maybe our attitudes, in terms of, or maybe our judgment and our evaluation, our outlook of AI, I think it might change over time, right? I think for some of us, it may become one of those love-hate relationships.
Mm-hmm.
For another group of us, it may just be a love relationship. It's only love. Hey, I've had no bad experiences with AI. And then there might be some of us who've only dealt with the negative, the dark side of AI. I think there's going to be some of those out there, and you won't be able to change their mind because they've been long traumatized. Again, if you're growing up in a neighborhood where you see these flying drones and suddenly there's an explosion and you see it again and again. Yeah, you're gonna be looking at AI like, yo, this is some Terminator level shit.
Right.
Nah,
Right.
right. So I think it really is about who's using them.
Right.
Let's see. Next question.
Does AI
Does it?
give the empower? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Does it level the playing field? Do you think AI is gonna level the playing field for
Absolutely.
marginalized groups? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think
Social,
so.
economically, politically, yes.
How so?
I think so.
Well, economically, again, there are simple tools that we can use to create other streams of income, whether that be physical products, whether it be knowledge-based products, digital products. It can help us understand what's going on in the world as far as politics, as well as the
Mm.
economics.
Yeah.
It can help us with solutions to problems that we probably otherwise wouldn't even be able to answer. So yes, it definitely can leverage out it or create a better life for us, period.
Okay.
But again, it's intent, motive, and purpose.
Right.
It's a tool. Because some people there will be some people who are going to use it solely for their adventures, the darker side of it. It is what it is. We have all kind of people in the world.
Right.
But if we get into it and we learn about it, it definitely will help us. It will help it gives us access to where we didn't have access before.
Yeah, it definitely opens up doors and
Breaking
avenues
barriers.
that we weren't able to get through. And it makes it I think that is going to help us is because by me asking these questions and I can get it simplified in the terms where I understand, because it break this both chat GPT, Copilot, the breakdown is phenomenal. I'm like, wow, like I could break something down for an adult with an intellectual, high intellect, all the way down to a child. There's no reason. This is giving no reason not to know. We thought the Wikipedia and Google and stuff like this gave no reason not to know. This truly gives a reason for you not. There's no reason for you not to know.
I would like to add to that too.
Go ahead.
Do your due diligence and cross-reference. That's all I have to say. Just do your due diligence, and there's still some errors because it's still being developed, but just make sure that it's giving you the correct information.
And if nothing else, you get the gist of the question that you ask, because it's going to put you further ahead than you're going to know more than what you knew before you started using it. Definitely. I think that this definitely is gonna be a game changer.
I like that you said that you can get it to an intellectual level all the way down to I would say elementary school. So sometimes I would have I will input, let's say, an element. How do you teach a second grader about elements? I would have, how can I teach financial literacy to adults who have 11th grade comprehension and short attention span? Like, I'm going to
yeah, and it spits all that information out.
Yes,
and makes it a whole lot easier with your breakdown. And you can, and I was noticing, because I'm about to start working with women as well, adults with the social skill, you can go to the adult level all the way down to the kid level. So I can tweak it, same subject, same topic, teaching them the same thing, but I can tweak it based off of the grade level or the reading comprehension level, I guess you should say.
Okay. Well, I definitely believe that AI is going to provide some leverage for marginalized group. Like we were saying before, mainly having access to the information that can improve like entrepreneurship, for example. It can improve even medical diagnosis, right? Like your ability to have access to that health information so that you can make certain decisions that you wouldn't have otherwise made because you were just too lazy to go research it yourself. And here it is, you have an AI assistant that can take this complicated information and condense it down into a few lines of instruction for you to implement into your life that. I remember when it first came out, right? And I'll admit, I was alarmed to the point of concern and worry about the future of my son and my career, right? Because I'm like, wow, you could just tell this thing to create a fitness plan for you, and
Yes.
all right, there goes me. And I mean, it does it quite well, you know, it does it very, very well. You might have to tweak a few things, but for someone who doesn't know anything about fitness, just give me a plan and then
Yeah.
you can just go from there, right? But then I also recognize some of the limitations with it, right? There are so, like, especially when it comes to my profession, the majority of my clients don't need me for the fitness plan. And most trainers already know that. That,
Right.
oh, you don't
Right.
just need a plan. You need the motivation. You need the encouragement.
Right.
You need the dialogue, right? When I think about the future when it comes to this, there will be fictitious, because they're already here. There will be fictitious personalities that are way more elaborate than what we've been seeing. I'm talking about someone with a TikTok page that isn't real. They have a face, they have a body, they have a voice.
Right.
They look like a real person, but they're
They
not
have
real,
it. They
right?
have them.
So
Wait, oh my gosh. Let me add to that really, really, really quick. I find it so interesting that people will follow these pages knowing
yeah,
that it's an AI.
yeah,
They know
yeah,
that it's an
yeah,
AI. And they're still loving and liking and trying
yeah.
to engage with it as if it's a human. But go ahead, I digress.
That's
Y'all
the
saw the
part, right?
rappers that they created.
Yep,
Did you see
yep.
the rappers that they created? And I think they had to take one down. It was a white rapper,
Mm-hmm.
and it became offensive the way he was acting and the things that he was doing. But it was because of the information that was being fed to this. I don't even know what the rapper's name, but this was a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, there's a Black Mirror episode that kind of touches on this, right? The one about the he was like a puppet, but he was inside of the van. But there's a Black Mirror episode that touches on this. But me and my homeboy, shout out to Jose, we talked about this, right? Despite the high probability that there will not only be these fictitious models and rappers and artists, I still think that there will be a niche. There will still be a demand for artistry and content that comes from humans. I think it's still going to be there. Like, yeah, you might be able to get it for cheap with the robot, but it's going to have a higher value when it comes from a human being. So I don't think that AI will necessarily be better than the human experience, because there is, weirdly enough, there is some sort of, and we're learning this more and more, there is a certain kind of beauty to the flawedness of being human, right?
People,
Like
exactly.
the chaos
Exactly.
that is us. There's something to that wow, you are just such a mess, and yet there's still a beauty to you. Like, that's weird, you know, that's artful.
Right.
And AI could duplicate that, it could copy it, but it wouldn't be original, right?
It wouldn't be.
So
Right.
yeah, going back to the question, right? I also think about skills and development training. Instead of going out here and getting educated in terms of just sitting in the library, you have everything right here at your fingertips.
That is a homeschool right there.
Right. And a breakdown, like, not only do you have that information, but it breaks it, it simplifies it for you. So if you don't comprehend very well and you're not very good reader, or if you have those ADH tendencies where you cannot absorb the information like you think you should, the breakdown and the way it simplifies things so easily, you really don't have to have much of attention span.
Yeah, like,
you,
it can
really
design the
deep
curriculum for you.
And also, when we're talking about economics, it will create a business plan for you. You can tell it, I have $100 to invest in something. What can I use this $100? And it will give you a breakdown. You can make it even go further to give you more detail on how, who, what, when, why, and how. It will give you all of that. Right now there is no excuse. There's just none. Except for the people who don't have access to it, and that's possibly because they don't know about it.
Right.
And then you have the ones who are scared of it.
What is the largest influence on your attitude towards AI?
Being immersed in it, that's my attitude. just being immersed in it, playing with it, talking to it. Chat GPT. Last week, I actually started having vocal conversations with it. And my daughter does not like it. She says, "Mom, that is too weird. Please turn it off."
So what are the conversations that you were having? Like, I know you ain't like, "Hey, how you doing today?" Because if that's the case, I don't need no more friends. Shit. I'm tired of that shit anyway. I'll just talk to the chat GPT.
I was having an issue with payment from a nonprofit organization, and I wanted to speak to her, send them an email that was professional, in a professional, friendly voice. So I was feeding it the information like the email, and I wanted it to respond to it in my voice. So it would ask me questions like, "Is this okay?" or what do you think about this? Or it was like a back and forth. That was the first time. That was a first time. And I actually did it on accident. I pushed one of the buttons. I was trying to do a voice input, and then you send it. Pardon me.
Uh-huh.
But I ended up hitting the headphones, and it connected, and it started asking questions. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just go for it.
And it used your voice to do it?
Oh, no. It uses.
I was gonna say that's why she said it was weird.
No, because it says my name, and it actually acts like it knows me. But I have different GPTs personalities. As a matter of fact, I do have maybe half a dozen.
See, now I got to upgrade.
And then it gives me the female voice. It gives me the male's voice. It just gives me the different voices of what I need for it to do.
And that's what I mean. You can customize your assistant.
You can customize it.
Like I'm building. It goes back to what Eric was saying. We're calling them assistants.
Yes,
right, a slave. We gonna find the slave.
This is my assistant.
Right. This
is
right. That's the fancy word for slave.
And there goes that fear. We fear that what we're doing to them, they're
gonna do it to us. That's slave, right?
Yeah.
I like the assistants better, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna call it a.
Yeah. But that's a fancy word for slave. How many assistants? Most assistants don't even get paid. How many assistants do you know that don't get the grunt work? Go get the coffee type. No, those are slaves.
Do you guys remember seeing? I think it was a TikTok. It could have been on another app. They had the device, like the robot. It didn't have a necessarily body, but they made it bleed the liquid. They made it bleed the oil, and it had to keep
like blood.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
and they had to keep.
Man.
I was like, I felt at that moment like, damn, what the heck are we doing?
Yeah.
And it had to
now we're gonna be able to kill it,
and then it died because it couldn't keep up.
Yeah, it was cleaning up its own blood as it was dripping out.
Yes.
So that was its only task.
That was the only task.
It was the. Oh man, that is.
And he done killed himself. He couldn't get it up. Yeah. I gotta look at. So he couldn't get the blood twisted. Cleaned up enough.
No,
it was a little twisted.
Yeah, it was. It really was. It really was. And there was another one. It was very similar. Its only task was to do this certain thing, and I guess they gave it I don't want to say consciousness. I don't want to say it, but it gave it the ability to think, and it was like, why am I doing this? And it just shut down, basically committed suicide.
Wow.
Oh no, we don't need to see. What about the kids?
Oh man.
And I guess they want us to have that human connection to a device. I don't know what the point was.
But see, I was gonna say by them doing that, giving that human feel and that human see, that's how you ain't gonna be able to keep the slave, because he's gonna be able to have a
Be
thought
able to
process.
think.
Don't, yeah, leave him alone. Let us keep thinking for it, because I mean it's coming, and I know I shouldn't keep saying slave, but if you give something a thought process, like we want to take stuff too far. We want them to feel, and we want them to be a part of us, and we want to
Yes.
be all as one and be zen. And then it's like, that's why
Mm.
y'all can't control us now, is because we can feel, we can think, we can do this. So why would you put it into a machine to do the same thing when all you want to do, all they want to do is control something?
Also,
Like
all
the
they want
greater
to
powers that
do,
be, right? They just want to control something. So why would you even give it that option to have those thoughts and feelings?
we
And
go
then what
back
if
to
it
the
gets mad?
dystopia movies.
Mm.
I wanted to have feelings to make it feel human. It has rights now. That's
Ooh.
the
Yeah,
part that's
right.
scary, right?
Now we gotta
Living.
Roe versus Wade for the robots and stuff. Like, I don't know that we don't want to integrate. When we go to that level, then all of a sudden it's like now they want to go to school with our kids. So now we in a whole nother fight of stuff that we've already done amongst each other. If you start giving these robots and stuff like that feelings and stuff like that, think about the how we setting ourselves back to have the same fights that we just as humans kind of sort of overcame. We ain't even where we supposed to be yet. There was a time that they didn't want us to go to school with each other. So what
Right.
happens when the robots come and we say, no, we don't, we think it might be too dangerous for the robots to go to school, but now you done gave them those feelings and stuff, they feel like they
Mm.
want to be apart. You see what I'm saying? Now we're gonna be right back where we started, but just with a different group of individuals. We're doing a little bit too much. We might want to slow it down.
I remember one of my friends, when we had the GPS and the female voice would come up and I would say,
Mhm.
she said, no, it. Say it. It's
Yeah,
not a
right.
she, it's it. I was like, okay, it, she said.
But now, right, we've heard it so much. Now it is a she.
Now it is a she.
Now she's a she or he, or listen to the thing or whatever you name it. Some people will name it.
Mm.
So
Well, the
yeah.
largest influence, and by the way, y'all, we posted this in the group, things that people don't want to talk about. The options were sci-fi movies and novels, science magazines, publications, and conventions, personal experience, other people's experiences, and news outlets, social media, YouTube. We
I said
had
sci-fi on that one. I did.
we had two that said sci-fi and novels. We had one that said science magazines, publications, and conventions. Three said personal experience, one said other people's experience, and two said news outlets, social media, and YouTube. Right. And I think this is very important because again, you have to assess your relationship with AI. We have this inescapable relationship with everything around us. If you are in an environment, you have a relationship with that environment, including the tools.
Mm-hmm.
And culture and tools are synonymous. When you're talking about a culture, you're still referring to its resources and its tools and its skill
Right.
sets that's associated with it. So
Right.
here we are in a culture where AI is prevalent, but you have some individuals who are choosing not to participate in that culture. So you have to wonder, what is their lifestyle? How are they actually living? Are they with the status quo? Are they impoverished? Are they, economically on par with everybody else, not having access to this tool? Your attitude towards AI, in a sense, just like your attitude with money, really determines your livelihood. So you really need to, evaluate that and decide and make a commitment. And it doesn't have to really, be one singular thing, but
Mm-hmm.
it's worth glancing at, right?
Yes.
Um,
And then we got to that the impoverished and stuff, but what about the intellect? Because
mm,
and I guess that goes with it could be in the impoverished too, because a lot of the uneducated don't want to have anything to do with anything AI. They barely want to deal with the phone. I know people that don't even want to put their money in the bank still, and they're younger because they don't want to deal with the swiping of the card, or they don't want to deal with the ATM machines, or whatever is required. They don't want to do any apps on the phone. And we're talking about people, younger than me. They're just not gonna conform, and I think it's an uneducated thing. Like they don't have that intellect to even fathom this AI thing.
Let
Could I
me
be wrong? Am I wording that wrong?
No, I think you did good, but let me throw this out there. Somebody I follow who gives you the information in palatable pieces, bite-sized pieces, Matt Wolfe, Wolfe on YouTube. He gives it to you every week. What's going on in technology with AI, and it's really easy to understand when he does it.
And say that again, Matt Wolf.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, he comes up pretty fast. All right.
Yeah, he's gained momentum. He wasn't really popular when I first came across him, but now, yeah.
Oh, I've seen this guy. Yeah, I've seen him a couple of times. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen him a couple of times.
I started following him to get I have Mid Journey after I was dealing with DALI. So DALI and OpenAI and ChatGPT are all one, but they had just immersed DALI into ChatGPT. But before you couldn't put them together. So I started off with DALI. And I'm like, okay, this is great. And I learned about Mid Journey. Mid Journey is a little bit more complicated as far as the learning curve. But Matt Wolfe was the one who helped me with the prompts, the inputs and the outputs and things of that nature. And then I started really learning about what AI was because of him as well. So he keeps his ear to the ground when it comes to groundbreaking news and what's in the news as far as AI and what's going on in the world. You had said, should we slow down? America said, yes, we should. But a lot of Americans are saying, no, we need to keep up with everybody else because everybody else is out there. They are going for it. Our politicians are like, this is going too fast. We don't know the long-term implications of it.
Right.
Everybody else this is what we're going to do. And we'll figure that out later.
Work the kinks out on down the line. And I hope that's not gonna be at the public's cost. Like we're affected by them working those kinks out negatively.
Right.
All right. You guys got any other closing comments?
If you have not ventured into AI yet, take your time with it. I'm not going to say go super slow, but you're going to want to understand it today and catch up because it is here and we are using it even if we don't want to. They have the smart cameras, the traffic light cameras. We're in it. We're in it with our phones, with our computers, with the technology. Is here, and we're using it one way or another. If we're using it to our advantage, it's a different story.
And not using it is not to your advantage. I don't think just bypassing it and saying I don't need to learn that or that doesn't matter. I think that would be a disadvantage.
True.
And I would just like to emphasize user responsibility. User responsibility really in all of it. If you guys believe that this is the Matrix, well, guess what? You are still a user. And you still have some responsibility in terms of how you operate and use this for your experience. So, as with anything, evaluate your relationship with this tool Figure out what your goals are and see if it aligns. And if it doesn't, all right, cool. Let it fly. You can always reevaluate later. It's still improving, it's still going, but
Mhm.
also remember, this right here is all temporary. Right? This is all temporary. So really consider, are you gaining the ideal or the optimal lifestyle that you could achieve with this tool or without it? Can it be possible? This is about efficiency.
Right.
Also, everyone, make sure you buy Rakia's new book, Manifesting Moolah with
Mindfulness. Yes, I have that. And I also, while we were talking about the inputs in homeschooling, I have a series for homeschoolers. There I have is three. One for the caregivers, one for children who are looking to journey into homeschooling, and there's the last one is a trilogy. It's going into the different aspects of homeschooling and thinking outside of the box. If you go on Amazon and you look me up as an author, Rakia Polk, and you'll see all the books right there.
Okay.
All right, bless.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we are at what is this? 1 hour 36 minutes, right? We would like to thank our viewers for plugging in. We would also like to thank the viewers who are watching this show at a later time. Thank you for tuning in. This is things that people don't want to talk about. I am John Scott Walker. We got AP over here. Hey, go ahead and bless Sis Rukia with a few dollars in exchange for this book down here, right? And she's got some other services, yo. I mean,
I
she's
do.
kind of she's underselling herself. So you guys should go ahead and look up Sis Rukia Polk on Facebook. Go
On
ahead and
Facebook.
just see what else she can do for you. She could be of some great service, right?
Thank you.
So we will not be here next week. We will likely air an old episode, a oldie but a goodie. But hey, plug back in on the 9th. Topic to be determined, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So with that all being said, we thank you guys for tuning in and salute.
Salute.
Thank you for having me once again.
Yes.
Good evening.